He is the twin brother of Elrond half-elven. After a childhood filled with turmoil, he would choose to be counted among men, taking on a mortal life and the kingship of Númenor. Today on Nerd of the Rings, we cover the life of Elros Tar-Minyatur. In the late First Age, Morgoth has seized control of all of northern Beleriand. Gondolin, the last remaining threat to the Dark Lord, has fallen. Among the survivors of Gondolin who flee to the havens of Sirion in the south is a young Earendil. There he would meet Elwing. The two would marry, and in 532 of the First Age, Elwing would give birth to twin sons, Elrond and Elros. However, when the twins are just 6 years old, the havens of Sirion are attacked by the sons of Feanor, who are attempting to take the Silmaril from Elwing by force. This third kinslaying of elves against elves results in many deaths, Elwing being lost to the sea, and the twins being captured by the leaders of the attack, Maitros and Maglor. While Elwing would be taken by Ulmo to her husband's ship, the twins are shown pity by Maglor and are taken by the brothers to care for. In one version of Tolkien's writings, it is the sons of Feanor who give the twins their names. Elros meaning Elf of the Spray, or Star Foam, for he was found playing in a waterfall. We are told that despite the conditions under which Elrond and Elros came under his care, a mutual love grows between Maglor and the twins. In the coming days, Maglor, Maitros, and the twins would notice a new star in the sky. The sons of Feanor would recognize it to be a Silmaril of their father's creation. Indeed, it was a Silmaril, now worn upon the brow of Elros's father, Earendil, who now sailed the sky by the blessing of the Valar. We are not told of any further deeds or events concerning Elros or his brother during the First Age. Their father would fight against Morgoth's winged dragons during the War of Wrath. In the end, after 40 years of war, Morgoth is defeated, and the lands of Beleriand sink into the sea from the destruction. After the Great War, the Valar give Elros and Elrond as the Perithil, or half-elven, a choice. They may be counted among elves, living an immortal life, or they can be counted among men, accepting the gift of Iluvatar of death, and the unknown fate that lies beyond the circles of the world. While Elrond would choose to be counted among the elves, Elros chooses the gift of men, though his life would be far longer than any other mortal man. As the Second Age dawns, the Valar raise from the sea a great island, a reward for the Edain, the great clans of men of the First Age who fought against Morgoth. Joining the people of his paternal grandfather and maternal great-grandfather, Elros leads the Edain as they sail across the sea. They follow the star of Earendil, which leads them to their new island home, Númenor. They first reach Númenor in the 32nd year of the Second Age, founding what will become one of the greatest civilizations to ever exist in the history of Arda. Elros becomes the first king of Númenor this same year, taking his royal name in the elven language of Quenya, Tar-Minyatur, meaning High First Ruler. This tradition would be followed by generations of Númenorian rulers, with the practice only failing as Númenor begins its descent into evil. Over the course of the next 50 years, the Edain would migrate from Middle-earth to their new home. In addition to the island, the Númenorians are also gifted longer lifespans than typically found in men, and Elros and his descendants are particularly blessed with longevity. Among the heirlooms Elros brings to Númenor are the Ring of Barahir, the ring that originally belonged to Galadriel's brother Finrod. Finrod gave it to Barahir as a symbol of the friendship between their houses, and it would pass not only down to Elros, but thousands of years later would come to Aragorn. Elros also brings the axe of his grandfather Tuor, the bow of Barahir's father Bregor, and Aranruth, the sword of the great elf king Thingol, who was Elros's great-great-grandfather. As the longest lived of the Númenorians, Elros would rule as king for 410 years. During his rule, the capital city of Armenelos, including its tower and citadel, were constructed. No doubt Elros would have played a key role in establishing many of the traditions and ways of Númenor that would last for thousands of years. Elros would have 4 children. His eldest son, Vardamir Nolimon, is born in the year 61 of the Second Age. He would then have a daughter, Tindomiel, and 2 more sons, Manwendil and Atanalkar. Elros would live until the year 442 of the Second Age, when he would pass the scepter to Vardamir. However, Vardamir himself was already 381 years old, and a mere 29 years away from his own death. So Vardamir would only be the 2nd king in title, as he immediately passes the scepter to his son, Tar-Amandil, the 3rd king of Númenor. In that year of 442, Elros would die at the age of 500 years old. Whether Elros ever saw his brother after sailing with the Edain to Númenor over 400 years earlier, no tale tells. We do, however, know the manner of Elros's death. We are told Elros remained unwearied until he was 500 years old and then chooses to lay down his life. Unlike men in days to come, the early Númenorians would embrace the day that their time had come. For a glimpse into such a death, we can look to Aragorn as he bids farewell to Arwen in Appendix A of The Lord of the Rings. "Take counsel with yourself, beloved, and ask whether you would indeed have me wait until I wither, and fall from my high seat unmanned and witless. Nay, lady, I am the last of the Númenorians, and the latest king of the elder days, and to me has been given not only a span thrice that of men of Middle-earth, but also the grace to go at my will, and give back the gift. Now, therefore, I will sleep. In sorrow we must go, but not in despair. Behold, we are not bound forever to the circles of the world, and beyond them is more than memory. Farewell." As thus would come the end of Elros Tar-Minyatur, the first of the great Númenorian kings to embrace the gift of men. As always, I want to say a huge thank you to my Patreon supporters who make this channel possible. Tom DeBombadil 19, Listen Me the Cinda, Celebrimbor, The Mighty Mim, Team Weasel, Rabbi Rob Thomas, Charles Leisure, Toby Mobs Music, CCDC Red Team, Nerd Sidgeman Anytimer, Pelkey Sports Cards, Moki the Brown, Christopher Carbaugh, Joe Tepper, Sky Carcass, Slide Belts, Dane Ragnarsson, Salim Rahman, Zetrock, Berto Berg, Grand Strategy Nerd, Graham Darracott, The Dark-Haired One, Wyland, Michael Wu, Grant McGregor, and Debbie. If you enjoyed the artwork in this video, check out the artists in the description and purchase prints of their great work for yourself. Thanks so much for watching and subscribing, and we'll see you next time on Nerd of the Rings.